U.S. Senate race between Democrat incumbent Mark Warner and Republican Ed Gillespie was a late-night nail-biter today. The unofficial results show Warner as the apparent winner, but it isn't over yet. Andy Fox was in Arlington with the Warner campaign on election night. He spent today trying to get answers about what the Republican victory mandate in the Senate means. Andy,
Nicole, it means nothing. Nothing if Republicans cannot get the gridlock problem solved. There's a saying, too much is given, much is expected. Well, the voters gave Republicans a lot last night, and voters expect a lot in return. If Republicans don't deliver, well, they could be voted out in the next election cycle.
No one was a bigger winner last night than Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, who becomes the Senate Majority Leader.
The House passed over 300 pieces of legislation, many of them on a bipartisan basis, and nothing was done with them in the Senate. The American people have changed the Senate. So I think we have an obligation to change the behavior of the Senate and to begin to function again.
McConnell and apparently America blame the Democrats for Senate gridlock. Virginia Senator Mark Warner squeaked by in a race he was supposed to comfortably win. We asked what happened to Warner's comfortable victory. No comment from Warner, but a source close to Warner's campaign, Senator Warner was the only Democrat in the South to win last night in a year of a Republican tidal wave. So now Republicans control Congress, but will they produce the same gridlock? There's already trouble. Republican Senator Ted Cruz, accused of being an obstructionist, not on board, and says he will not vote for McConnell for Senate Majority Leader.
Well, let me just make a prediction for you. A week from tomorrow, I'll be elected Majority Leader of the Senate.
Obama's low approval ratings hurt Democrats who couldn't even call him to campaign for them. The source told us Warner outperformed President Obama's approval rating by 9 points by campaigning on his record of bipartisanship and willingness to reach across the aisle to tackle our debt and deficit.
The commitment I make to you is that I'll go back to Washington and recognize that we've got to find that common ground. I know most of us here are Democrats, but neither political party has a monopoly on truth or virtue or patriotism. And in this new Senate, I'll work with anyone, Democrat, Republican, Independent, you name it, if we're going to make sure we get our country's problems fixed.
Will they get it fixed? In Chinese, the word crisis is made up of two characters. One means danger, and the other means opportunity. Democrats and Republicans in Washington face both, and the country will be watching to see how they respond. The big question today, will Ed Gillespie's contest the vote? And he was covered last night by Aaron Kelly.
Well, Andy, I talked to his communications director today, and he told me it's simply premature to even talk about a recount. They have volunteers at all of the canvass locations today, and they say that their concern right now is getting that final vote tally.
I hope that we've run a campaign that has made you very proud. And
it's a line that sounds like it could be part of a victory speech or a concession speech, but it was neither. Republican Ed Gillespie got on stage in Springfield Tuesday night about 5 hours after polls closed. He told his supporters he needed them on his side a little longer.
I'm going to need a little more hard work. Obviously, we all know the process here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we know that there will be a canvass that commences tomorrow, and you know, we will have a better sense. There are still some precincts remaining out as well, and obviously a very close race.
So close that Gillespie has not conceded, even though Warner's declared victory. The unofficial numbers from the Virginia Department of Elections Wednesday afternoon showed a gap between Mark Warner and Ed Gillespie of about 3/4 of a percentage point, around 16,000 votes.
Obviously, we are going to accept whatever is the final outcome, but I owe it to the voters of Virginia, owe it to all of you to make sure that the outcome is final before we make any final decisions on this end.
And some people, including our own political analyst Joel Rubin, have been saying Gillespie could run for governor if he ends up conceding this race. His campaign told me the only other office he would consider running for is re-election for Senate. And that's a sign that Gillespie's team is still very much focused on the outcome of this race. Aaron Kelly, 10 on your side.